Okay, so today, guys, what I'm going to be making for the first time ever is something I always loved from my Italian pizza place that I would buy from. And when I was buying it from back then, it was like it was like $19-20. Now they're charging like $45 for this, and I got like my beard is just blowing in the wind over here. So ever since I got on this kick of making dough and learning how to make dough, I've actually got better at doughing somehow. And I made a pizza the other day with ham and mashed potatoes and green beans. I know it's the weirdest thing, but that shit was fire. And it was stuffed crust. So we're doing that again today. So the ingredients that we're going to start off with, I'm going to start off with making the dough, and then moving on to all the different bits. So this is going to be like multiple sets of videos, because I'm not going to do this in one shot. It's just not going to happen. Too much watching, too long of a video. So first thing I always like to do is start off with my nice big mixing bowl that I got here. And I take my cup. Okay, now this at the top is 2 cups. So for the dough that I learned, okay, it takes about almost 4 cups of flour. So we're gonna do 2 cups right now. So that's 2 cups of flour, and I do 1.5 cups after the fact. And then what I do is I like to put this in here, a little bit of extra flour. And the reason this is I call it my mixing flour. So once I'm mixing it and I'm trying to get my dough, I like to put that in there. The next step is going to be eggs, but my hands are going to get dirty, okay? So before my hands get dirty, let's put our salt in. Put as much salt as you want. I put whatever I want. I don't really have a certain amount of salt I put in, but I basically put that in. Next thing I take is my extra virgin olive oil, and I just go back and forth and I coat the top of it, leaving basically a stream away from the other stream, and then I go back and forth the other way. It's just a way for me to kind of just keep track of how much I put in there, and that's it. Alright, and that looks nice. You can see my oily mountain. Okay, and you drink a beer. Alright, get my garbage pail under me. The reason why, so when I crack an egg, I drop the shell into the pail, not on the floor, obviously. Next thing we're going to start off with 6 eggs. Crack and drop. That's it. Now, I first started off making dough using gloves, because I usually use gloves when I'm doing anything, when it comes to like spices. But the problem that I started realizing when I was making dough is that the gloves, with gloves on, it's a lot worse than if you just have bare hands. Because with the bare hands, it's easy to get the flour off, but with the gloves on, it sticks, the fingers start sticking together, and it's a freaking headache. So that's my nice 6 eggs. Off to the side. Okay, now I'm going to take my one hand, and I'm going to mix it. My other hand, I'm going to rotate the bowl while I'm mixing. And I like to turn my hand counterclockwise to mix it this way. But I'll go in first and I'll pop all the yolks. Makes it easier to spin them. And I get the dough, get the flour going down it, and I'll just start brushing it away from the edge. Now I don't pre-flour my hands because it doesn't make a difference. I tried that one day. I tried pre-flouring myself, and it just didn't really matter, because once your hands hit the yolk, that's it. I get in there, and you don't want to get crazy vigorous. You just want to really, this is the kind of the stage you really want to start off nice and slow. You just want to try to get everybody all partying together, and then I go in there and I'll squeeze, 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 and just start squeezing it. And like I said, even pre-flouring your stuff, you're still going to get the dough on you, but it doesn't matter at this stage. You just got to keep kneading this in. Now, from here, there's a lot of kneading. Basically, you want to get this down to a nice round ball that's tacky. Now, everybody makes their pizza dough differently. I make my dough the same way no matter what. If I'm making bread, if I'm making pizza dough, it's the same thing. If I'm doing something like for Easter that I did. I made some like chocolate, strawberries, and cream little pastries. They came out really good. Used the same recipe. The only thing I did differently was I added nutmeg, cinnamon, and vanilla extract to it, just so that the bread had a different flavoring to it, and that was really about it. So now, as you can see how quick it is, we already got it nice and hard. So now what I do is try to get as much as I can off my hand as possible. I take my flour, I dump my flour on top. Take my hand, and I'm going to pat the flour down, and then try to remove what's on my fingers. Okay. Very simple process. Now, I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to start pushing it down. I'm going to be moving it. I'm going to be bending it. I'm going to be pulling it. I'm going to be stretching it. I'm going to be pounding it. Basically, all I'm doing right now is mixing my dough. Now, I might have a little bit too much flour, but all that will work out in the end. Try to grab whatever else is falling. It's going to have a lot of stuff mixed all over the place. Another thing I'll do too is I rub my hands together. I know it's miscellaneous BS you don't need to know about, but it's just ways I get everything off me. Like such. Try to keep the mess down to a minimum. Keep the least amount of stuff out of my sink. Just had a frickin' deal with some drainage BS with roots growing in it, so keep the least amount of sticky stuff out of my sink, the better. Okay. Could you grab me a small bowl, please? Well, you're laughing at the delivery guy.
No, the girl. She's awesome.
Guy, girl,
She's
whatever.
carrying 2 of them. She's carrying 7 bottles of water at one
It's
time.
2024. It may not be a female.
Oh, it is.
You gotta lift that
She's got
skirt
the
up.
boobs in the butt. She's with her boyfriend's son.
Yeah, and so do transgender men. They got boobs and butts too. Just you pull down your pants, you whine, and you think you met the girl of your dream. You whine and you dine her, you bring her back home to your place. You fucking lift up her skirt. Next thing you know, you're holding on to a tree trunk. You know, for a lady, you got a set of bowls. Okay. So now we got a nice little mix here. So it's a little mixy all over the place, like I said. Probably could have used another little egg or two, a little less flour. I think it was actually 3 cups of flour, not 1.5. It's fine. I can fix this. Basically, what now has to happen with the dough is that now the dough itself has to now rest, which allows you to do the rest of your work. So right now, this is stage 1 of making the dough. The next stage is going to be the rest of it. So what am I actually making for the pizza is a cheeseburger pizza. Cheeseburger bacon pizza. I know, it's not pineapple pizza, guys. That's another video. But as you can see, I'm just turning it over. And as I do that, I'm getting my nice bowl. Take some of the flour that's in here, and stick it in my little bowl that I have here. Put it like that. And now it gets to sit and rest. Basically until I can get to it. I would say about half an hour to an hour. Could be a little longer, doesn't really matter. But that's basically the making of the dough. The rest of the ingredients, give me a second. Everybody. So the rest of the ingredients that I have is I got pizza sauce, I got organic pizza sauce, organic mustard, mayo, I got onions, tomatoes, lettuce, I got 3 different types of cheese, I got mild cheddar, I got Monterey Jack, I got Gouda cheese, I'm using mozzarella cheese as for the stuffed crust, because I like how stringy it is when it melts. I got chopped meat, I got bacon, which I'm going to be doing with my Japanese barbecue sauce and my Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to be mixing that into the chopped meat as well. And then to finish it off on the edges, I got my sesame seeds as well. a lot of stuff put into it, but when you like cooking, it's not a lot. It's more enjoyable. I like it. It's my little side hobby. I'm not working on cars, I'm cooking food. So it's kind of comical. I'll put that guy off to the side, clean my surface, and we'll start the next video.